Hello, welcome to this series of videos related to the pyPhysChem GitHub repository and to the pyPhysChem notebooks. So if you want to play with these notebooks, you must first install an operational Python distribution on your own PC, and second, you must clone the pyPhysChem environment on your PC as well. So let's go and see how to do that. So let's move to the pyPhysChem homepage. So if you, with your browser, if you go to the pyPhysChem GitHub homepage, you will first see all the folders, okay, that contain data or Python codes or solution to exercises or images. And then after that, you will see several files that have .ipynb extension. These are Jupyter notebooks. So I will explain later what is the advantage of working with notebooks. But let's first focus on the installation on a Python environment distribution and on the cloning of this pyPhysChem website before explaining what is the advantage of Jupyter Notebook. So if you go down, you will see that there are mainly Python notebooks here with a couple of additional files. And then you have a README. You can read the content of a README file, okay, with the banner, a nice banner of this pyPhysChem website. And it is explained what is offered in this GitHub repository. It's a collection of Jupyter notebooks designed to integrate Python programming into physical chemistry education. Okay, so there is in this homepage there is both French and English. So it's written in French for the first year French students who do not yet who are not yet fluent in English, or not enough maybe. So we'll easily identify the English version thanks to the Great Britain flag. Okay. So there are a lot of, it's explained here that there is a lot of material in pyPhysChem, including resources for machine learning applications in chemistry, like artificial neural networks and autoencoders. Okay, so you next find a table of contents, okay, that is separated in, let's say, four main parts. The first part is the what is the main document of pyPhysChem and what are the prerequisites. Okay, so it's here. Then the second part is related to installation and the activation of Python distribution. Okay, and what is recommended here is to use Miniconda. So it's the light version of the Anaconda distribution. Okay, so you will find instruction to install Miniconda either on Windows or on Linux. There is no explanation about the installation on Macintosh, because actually I don't have a Macintosh and there is no Macintosh in my environment. So for people who have a Mac operating system, I think that the installation should be very close to what you have to do under Linux, because actually the kernel of a Macintosh is nothing else than a Linux kernel. Okay, so but you have to try it. Okay, I'm not familiar with it, so I cannot help you. I cannot provide help about the installation of a Python distribution and specifically of a Miniconda distribution under Macintosh. Okay, so let's go back to the table of content. So the second part is about the installation and the activation of a Python distribution. The third part is related to the cloning of the pyPhysChem repository and the installation of the required libraries, because with pyPhysChem we are using a lot of libraries, chemistry libraries, machine learning libraries, plotting libraries, and not only the standard matplotlib, but additional plotting libraries. So you must install them, and it is explained how to do that from let's say, an automatic point of view, at least as automatic as possible. So this is the third part. Then there is a short explanation on how to run a Jupyter notebook and how to launch it. Actually, it is explained that it will be launched into, it will open in your web browser. Okay. Let's move to the top. Then there is a list of changes here that you can see. So pyPhysChem is an ongoing project. You can see what has been done with, so it started, let's go, it started actually in 2022, before summer 2022, and it's still an ongoing project with a lot of new topics that are introduced regularly. Okay. Let's go back to the table of content. And if one day you use pieces of code of this GitHub repository that turn out to be decisive to your work, or that have been useful for your self-learning, you can cite this GitHub repository. You have a citation here. So far, 6 people have contributed to this repository, but new developers sometimes contribute. So new names will be added to this list in the forthcoming months and years. Okay, so I think it's quite bothering to have someone who explains to you what you can read on the screen. So maybe I'm going to stop now in a couple of minutes. So let me just focus on a couple of things. Okay, so you can install your own Python distribution. Okay, if you are familiar with that, and if you are if you are familiar with that, you can do it the way that is easier for you. But beware that you must install exactly the same libraries that are needed. You must install the libraries that are needed to run all Jupyter notebooks. Okay. So for you who are maybe more familiar than the others with such kind of installation, you will find somewhere in the on the website, you will find a requirement text file that contains the list of all the required Python libraries and Jupyter utilities. Okay, for the others. I strongly suggest to install Miniconda. Miniconda is a light version of Anaconda. Do not install the whole distribution. I think it's useless. Okay, it takes a lot of time to download it because it's a 1 gigabyte file, and it takes a lot of space on your disk. So my suggestion is to install Miniconda. So you have the explanations here, first in French and here in English, how to execute it, what you have to do during the installation process, and then what you have to do to activate the conda Python environment. Okay, and it's a little bit different under Windows and under Linux. What I suggest under Windows is to use the Anaconda PowerShell prompt, whereas under Linux it's the basic terminal. It's in the basic terminal that you have to run the command. Then it's the installation of the Python libraries. So you must all the time activate your Anaconda environment, unless you already have a terminal with a so-called base environment that is activated. Okay, then you must install Jupyter using the conda install command, for example. It will install actually a lot of things associated to Jupyter, so it will complete your base Python environment. Okay, you must install as well not only Jupyter, but as well Git. So Git will be very important. It will be very important to clone GitLab repositories, including pyPhysChem, that is stored on a GitHub on the GitHub website. Okay. And then it is explained that if you want to install additional libraries, you can do that either with an installer of Conda or with the pip installer. And I suggest to use the pip installer, and I explain here what are the, very briefly, what are the cons and pros of the Conda installer and of the pip installer. Okay, but I recommend for in the first approach to use pip. It's powerful and quite robust. Okay, and then it's the cloning of pyPhysChem. So you can download pyPhysChem, but I do not recommend to do that. I strongly recommend to use the git clone command. Okay, so in principle, on this page, you can directly, instead of selecting like this and to do a copy paste, you can directly click on this icon here to do a copy paste on your system directly. Okay, and then regarding the installation of the necessary libraries, as I said, what is provided in the pyPhysChem folder is a requirement text file that which contains the list of all the libraries that are required to run all the Python codes from the Jupyter notebooks of pyPhysChem. Okay. So you have to run this command here, the pip install -r requirement blah 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 .txt. Okay, and then you have to be patient because there are several hundreds of megabytes that are downloaded. Okay, you have a short troubleshooting section here, and then how to run a jupyter-lab, and what you have to launch in the first place. So the command is very simple. If you still have a terminal or Anaconda PowerShell prompt with the base conda environment that is activated, you just have to run the command jupyter-lab followed by toc.ipynb. toc as table of contents. Okay. And so you will enter in the table of contents of pyPhysChem, and you will see what are all the notebooks that are made available, okay, and all the topics that are covered by pyPhysChem. Okay, so now it's your turn. I'm going to say something else. Oh yes, just one last thing. If you experience any problem, so first check on this README web page that it is not described somewhere with the associated solution, or do exactly what I would do. So before sending me an email, do exactly what I would do. Copy paste the error, go to Google or to your favorite research tool, search tool. So Google it, and probably that somebody somewhere already has had exactly the same problem, and probably that someone somewhere has provided a solution. So first start with that, and really if you are in big trouble you can then only if you are in big trouble and if you don't find the solution, if you are sure that nobody found the solution, send me an email. Okay, but this is the very last possibility that you must consider. Okay, good work, and see you. Bye.